的名字是 Vincenza 但是我的中文名字是很莎。
Hello, I'm Frances, and welcome to Bluente's very first episode of our Live and Learn series. In this series, we speak to people who use Mandarin Chinese frequently in their working lives or have lived and worked abroad in China. In today's episode, we'll be getting to know more about Vincenza, an Italian lady who has lived and worked abroad in China. We'll be getting to know more about her motivations behind moving to China and learning the language, and why she still continues to work with the Chinese market till today.
好的，没问题。我的名字是 Vincenza 但是我的中文名字是很莎。我来自意大利我已经32岁了好老了。然后我是09年开始学中文，我就是第一次就是10年前去中国第一次了，那个时候是学习。然后从18年开始，我在杭州工作了，在那边工作了快4年了。现在我就在贸易事务所这边的生活很放松，不像中国一样的。so, so for the people that don't speak Chinese, maybe I introduce myself a bit in English. I'm Vincenza from Italy. I started to learn Chinese in 2009. And then, well, I went to China to study. I studied there like almost 2 years, and then I worked in Hangzhou since 2018. I was working in import-export sector. I worked almost 4 years there, and now I'm living in Mauritius, and I work as online consultant for the Chinese market. I think it was in a historical moment. I started to study Chinese in 2009, and it was just after the Beijing Olympics. So I was very impressed when I watched the opening by China. Everything was so great. And, at that time, I did not know much about China. Also, I mean, even at the high school, we just studied a bit of geography. We studied Mao Zedong, and then we don't know anything about the modern China. So for me, it was very surprising. I started to be more and more interested about this country. And then I found out it was one of the most rapid growth economy. And then I decided to learn Chinese because I thought it can give me a lot of opportunities on the job market in the future. Yeah, first of all, I've been there for studying first. So, and that was the hardest part. But during this year studying, I really found out that it was a great place where to stay, and there were so many opportunities if you can speak Chinese and work in China. And also, because everything is so fast, the economy is so fast, and also the working is so fast. Also, the professional growth that you can have in China is very fast compared to what you can have in other countries. So I worked a bit in other countries. I even worked in the USA. I thought that I spent so many years and so many efforts to learn the language. So I wanted to try to work in China. At the beginning, it was very challenging because I was the only foreigner in the company, and no one was speaking in English. So, it was not easy to speak Chinese every time, even if I study it, but it's very tiring when you have to think and speak in another language, and Chinese 8, 9, and sometimes 10, 11 hours a day. So, and I was super tired, and it was also like a new environment. I was also adapting to live there, to know more people in Hangzhou. So it was easy, but it was challenging. But at the end, it was very fun because also, I was learning every day. I was learning more the language, but also was learning more about the business and the import and export. So it was a very nice experience. Well, the first thing is that in China, there is not this big separation between your private life and your working life. And at the beginning, you have to struggle a bit with it, for us in the Western world, probably if you have to work and then to do some business, then after your working time, it's over. You have your personal time and you can do whatever you want. But in China, most of the time after working, you had to go to dinner with this client or to meet another person, or you are by your own, and then they call you and they say, hey, we are at the KTV with this client. Can you come, please? So because like the business culture in China is different, and also like this is influencing your working time and your working culture as well. So it never happened to me before, and when I was working in the USA or when I was working in Italy, or like you can have this kind of meetings in the not working time, but they are planned before, so you know that maybe 1 week, 2 weeks before that you have to go to meet this client, have dinner. And but in China it's just like, okay, you are on your own in your time, and then they call you and then you have to rush to this dinner or that meeting that is during the night or whatever time. So yeah, that is quite different, but it's also sometimes it's also more fun, because then the relationship that you can have with client or with partner is different. It's more about this idea of one seat and only like a working kind of professional relationship that you can have. Well, it's not because you want to do business in China, because I have known many people that are successful doing business and they don't know one word of Chinese, especially if they just work in the import-export or they work in Shanghai. But if you learn a language and you are able to use it, like the kind of relationship that you can have with your clients, it's completely different. Because first of all, they really appreciate that you can speak the language, that you have spent so many years to learn it. It also shows the respect for their culture, for China. So I think it's very important this point of view. They can trust you more. They don't find you like a person that is in China only to make money, but it's because you really have an interest for this country. So I think under these aspects, it's very important, not to do business, but to also feel integrated and to gain more trust from your clients and more to create also a trust between you and your clients. And also kind of respect is very important. And also like you don't feel an outsider, because if they don't speak Chinese, you go to an exhibition, you go to a dinner, you go to a meeting, and most of the time, even if the people can speak English, but if they have to speak to each other, they are going to speak in Chinese. And then if you don't understand, maybe you get nervous, you're thinking, oh, what are they saying now? Maybe they don't want to do business with me, they do not like this. But if you understand, then the atmosphere is different, you're more relaxed, and you will have a much easier life, working life. I was working in the food and beverage sector, so we were also importing wine from Italy. So of course, like whenever we had to go any meeting and any dinner with the clients, it was everything about drinking. It was very fun, even if at the beginning it was hard for me because I cannot drink Paisio. So so at the beginning they were trying to make me drink, but I was really feeling really bad. So I remember one time I was in a meeting. There was also my friend. She was working in the Italian office of our company, but she can also speak Chinese and know the culture like me. And then she was in China for a while for some exhibitions. So we went for a dinner. There was all this paitio, and I remember her pretending to drink and then just throwing the paitio in some soup because it was too strong. So this was very fun. Sometimes when you go to dinners and you have to drink so much, you have to go and invite all the people to cheer with you. And it's not cheers, actually, it's a ganbei. So you have to finish all the glass of wine or paitio, whatever you're drinking. And then everyone gets so drunk, and then you want to find some systems, some tricks not to get drunk. That was fun. I think it's something very unique. Only in China you can experience that. Because after so long, I feel like I also belong to this country. So it's no more a matter of choice. It's like, okay, if not China, what should I do? Because it I know after learning the language, being there so many years and understanding these markets so well, you feel like, okay, you can give your contribution, like even to help the companies of your country. That's what I'm doing now. I do consultancy, so I help other companies to understand better this country and understand the culture. So this is why I decided to continue to work in this field, because I feel, okay, I learned so much, and I think it's very important in these days to have some business with China and have some relationship with China. So I also want to help other companies and other people to get there, So yeah. Um, Actually, like, many people, they have many different idea about China, and but it depends, like common people and people that do business. I think one is not a misconception, but one of the big mistake why then they have misconception is that some companies, they do business with China, but they never have been to China, or if they go there, they just go to an exhibition, they stay a few days just in Shanghai or Beijing or Guangzhou, and then they go back. So they don't have the real perception of what's going on in China, because they don't really give the country an opportunity. Like I feel that if you want really to have a long-term relationship with your partners in China, your clients in China, you have to try to immerse yourself in the country and in the culture. So because like many people, they have different misconceptions about China, and so it's very, some of them are very basic, some of them are more complicated. Like some people doing business, they don't really trust the Chinese partner, because in the past they had very bad experiences. They, like, say they were not paid, or like they really had bad experiences in the past, also because the business environment in China was not this how to say, like developed like nowadays. Because in China, like 10 years is like a lot of time, but in Italy 10 years is just like very few times. So if some companies had the bad experience 10 years ago, they still think that it's the same in China nowadays, but it's a completely different world. So this is one misconception that many companies have in Italy, and it's because also they never put so much effort, to go there and really understand what's going on and really meet the people and their partners. So, yeah. And well, first of all, I always studied business Chinese, even at university. I was studying international relations with focus on China. So like the Chinese that we were studying was from newspaper, it was about economics, politics. So for me, like, like maybe some people, they have a lot of problems because of the Chinese or these very high sophisticated Chinese. Me, I never found that problem. For me, like the biggest problem was to find some way to practice the language, because like 13 years ago when I started, I even did not have an iPhone, we did not have all these tools that you can have nowadays. So it was really difficult to find some people that you can practice the language, you can talk. Like nowadays it's so easy, you can just use some app, then you find some people that want to learn your language in China, and then you make some exchange, or there are so many tools. But at that time there was not this opportunity. I remember there was like Shenzhen, like kind of Chinese Facebook at the time. Then I tried to enter and to find some people to talk, but it was very hard compared to nowadays. So I only got the opportunities to speak Chinese and to meet Chinese people when I was inside China. But I think nowadays it can be easy for the people. So my suggestion is like use like the most that you can, all the tools that this technology and this advancement has given to you. Because for me and people before me, like for us it was much more difficult, and we would really have liked to have what you can have nowadays.
We hope you enjoyed learning from Vincenza's story and are inspired and motivated by her experiences. If you're interested in learning Mandarin Chinese for work at affordable prices, do check out Bluente on the App Store and Google Play.